Hello YouTube. For a long time now I've wanted to make a small moon. Don't ask me why, it's just been something on my to-do list that I've always fancied. So I'm just starting with a basketball and you can see that I've covered it with layers of kitchen paper and PVA glue. This forms like a really tough kind of layer on the basketball. Don't use kids PVA glue when you're doing the paper mache layer around the basketball. Use either wood flooring PVA glue or super PVA glue. It's much tougher, and when it sort of bonds with the kitchen paper, it gives you a really kind of rubbery layer. It's really tough. Okay, to do the craters on this, I'm using Milliput. If you haven't used Milliput before, it comes in a box like this. I'm using silver grey today, but I quite often use standard Milliput, which is a little bit cheaper, or any colour of Milliput is fine because I'm going to end up painting the moon anyway. If you haven't used Milliput before, it's a two-part putty, and you mix the two parts together in equal amounts, and it sets rock hard at room temperature in about 4 hours. Right, this is when I'm about halfway around doing my whole moon. It looks sort of complete from this side, but look, as I turn it around, you can see I'm only about halfway there. Still got lots more craters to do. So in a minute, I'll show you how I make like the individual craters to give you an idea. If I show you like one small one and one big one, then you'll know how to kind of cover your moon. It's just a case of trying to be random, trying to cover it with like all different shapes and sizes of craters. They've all got to look like the moon has been hit from various angles by meteorites. So each crater's got to have sort of concentric circles. It's up to you how many circles you put on each crater, but it's again trying to keep it random looking. Right, let's show you how I make a couple of craters then. So I start off by just rolling balls. So I've got a large one here and a small one, and I'm just using this sculpting tool. And you can see it's a silicone tool with a point on it. Nice kind of pointy end, nice and flexible. The other end is useful for pressing into the craters, which you'll see in a second. So if I just take this small ball, put it onto my surface of my moon, and just start squashing it on a little bit with my finger. That just gets it to kind of stick to the basketball. Then I'm just going to press into the middle, just using the blunt end of this sculpting tool. And I just push down as deep as I want to get for this particular crater. Next, I turn my sculpting tool round and I just start using the silicone end. You can see how flexible it is. It's really quite soft, the silicone, and it just means that you can press down like this to start forming like the edges of the crater. Now you can see as I push down with this, I don't just kind of push straight down, I kind of rotate the tool a little bit as well. So the silicon end is rotating around. That just means that it doesn't break up the milliput too much. It depends what you want texture wise. Like you can see with the milliput being really soft because I've literally just have mixed it. When I'm doing this, I get this kind of nice kind of broken edge to the crater. You can see there it just broke even more. And sometimes you want all that kind of cracked effect. That can really add to the texture and makes it look more like rock. And depending on how much texture you want, you can either leave it like when you first done it with the silicone tool, or you can keep kind of rolling back into it to kind of smooth it off. You could even use a brush and a bit of water if you wanted to get it really smooth. You can see here I'm just using my finger to kind of soften it a little bit more around the rim of the crater. You can see though the basic crater shape happens pretty quickly, and then you've got like 4 hours before the milliput completely sets rock hard. So you could always do, quite a few craters and then just come back and do a bit of fine tuning more towards the end when the milliput is almost set. Right, that's how I do a little crater. By the way, I always try and keep the craters kind of facing directly upwards, if you see what I mean, so they're not at a kind of a strong angle. Okay, let's do a big one. So I'm pushing on the larger ball. I'm just going to use my thumb just to make the overall rough kind of crater shape. So you can see you start making a dent and your thumb will make a nice kind of curve. Anyway, it starts to look circular fairly quickly. Then it's just a case of keep turning the ball around a little bit and keep working in at different angles with your thumb or with a finger, just creating that curve to get it kind of like as circular as you can. I suppose you don't want them to be too perfectly circular. Again, you're after like a kind of a random effect on your moon. So if they're a little bit wonky and wobbly, that actually adds to the effect and makes it look more natural. Now, what you probably all have noticed as well is that I'm trying to do the craters at all different kind of depths. So I've got some that are really kind of shallow craters, really close to the surface of the moon. And then I've got others that really kind of stick out quite a bit. Now, obviously, if you think of like our moon, it's so large that all of the craters are really kind of flat looking compared to like the surface of it. On this one, I'm trying to get like more of a kind of a interesting, almost like a sort of asteroid look to the overall kind of look of the moon. And I hope that I'm getting that. And just by getting some to kind of stick out quite a long way, it makes for that kind of, I think, more kind of interesting shape. You can see the initial stages of this large crater are very similar to how I did the small crater. I'm just using the sculpting tool again and just kind of rotating it as I push down, and this just gives me my kind of edge that goes down to meet the surface of the basketball. Again, with my first pass, I just go all the way around, really sort of almost like as quickly as I can. And I don't worry at all about any kind of big cracks and things that I'm getting. I think about those later when I'm kind of trying to refine it a bit more. At this stage, it's just trying to get all the way around and kind of get the milliput to form this edge that goes all the way down to the basketball. Make sure you look around the whole edge to check that you've gone all the way round, and make sure that you concentrate on surfaces where it kind of meets another crater. You've got to try and get that to smooth in nicely so you don't end up with a line like I've got here at the moment. You can see, like, I start working my way around that little edge. That gets rid of the line and gets it to kind of smooth into that other crater. I was going to mention the benefits of Milliput when you very first have mixed it. It's really quite soft, and yes, when you kind of press on it and things, it can crack quite easily. And those cracks I find like really useful. Like when I'm doing all kinds of different textures, like quite often if I'm doing skin textures, I want cracks to appear like in the face if I'm doing like a sort of an old looking face, or I find it makes a really good kind of leather effect if I'm trying to get the texture of leather. That works really well. And then it looks particularly good after you've painted it as well. Right, coming back to this crater, you can see what I'm doing now is I'm just pushing in with my finger and my thumb, just going around, almost like I'm making like a sort of mini crater within the crater. And if you press too hard, you obviously get like a deeper hole. I just want this to look like a fairly shallow hole, so I'm not pressing too hard. And I've just got to make sure that I keep going around if I want to make it like a nice kind of smooth circle. Sometimes I might just do one like this, and sometimes I might change the size of it, so I might take it much closer to the actual rim that I've done already. Or sometimes I might just do one little small one in the middle. On this one, look, I'll do a little small one in the middle as well. That's just using the end of that sculpting tool again and not pressing very hard. I don't want it to be particularly deep. And then I might just use my finger at the end just to go in. And again, if you do this, it just sort of takes that kind of sharp edge off of the crater. Some of the larger craters I've just been leaving like this at this kind of stage, and they look absolutely fine. Some of them I've been going in though again with an extra stage where I use the silicone tool, just using the tip to kind of press into the very edge. And I just push in like that all the way around the whole kind of rim, and it just sort of emphasizes the rim a little bit more, makes it show up. Right, why do I even want a small moon? I think it's partly because I just love the shape of them. I think it's going to look really cool. And I think if I put it in my model room, I've got so many kind of creatures from movies and things that are like aliens or, you know, space related. If I just have it in the model room with them, it's going to just look really cool just as an object in its own right. The other thing is, I think because I read a book when I was a kid, which is called The Little Prince, which I'll show you now. The cover of The Little Prince looks like this. And The Little Prince was a little kind of boy that traveled around space and he would visit people on their individual little planets. This was his little planet, and you can see it's got like a few things on there, like he's got a little rose in a glass jar that he's kind of growing on his planet. And then he's got like a few little tiny volcanoes that he has to sweep out with like a little broom. And so it's just a really cool little book. I just love the planet on the outside with all of the rocks and things, just giving it that kind of really unique texture. It just made me really want to make a moon. You can see an illustration from the inside of the book showing the little prince on his planet with his little volcanoes that he's sweeping. Again, it's got like the jar with the little rose in it. And one of the volcanoes, he's got like a little frying pan on there so he can do a bit of cooking. It's a really sweet little book, and it's got a few little kind of basic illustrations in it that I really love. Like this one where the little prince asks grown-ups, "Are you afraid by this drawing?" And the grown-ups say, "Why would we be scared of a hat?" basically. And he says, "It's not a hat, it's a boa constrictor eating an elephant." I just really love that. It's a great little illustration. Anyway, back to the moon, and with the powers of editing, it is now completely covered with craters. You can see I used the silver grey milliput, and some of it is like more grey and some of it is more blue. That's because I quite often get sent samples from milliput where they're kind of doing different practices, and they've got slightly different variations in colour. It doesn't matter though, because I'm going to paint the whole of this moon anyway, so that it's all one uniform colour. Now I was going to paint the moon really dark and then kind of do dry brushing techniques and then bring up all of the light colours again using the dry brushing, maybe even use a bit of silver. But I decided just to paint the whole thing one uniform colour like this, and then painted it again with PVA glue. That's why it's looking really kind of wet and glossy, and the PVA glue is still quite white at this stage because it hasn't dried yet. But when it does dry, it's going to give it a really, really nice shine. I do really like this pale colour. I think it makes all of the craters show up really well. I like the idea of using this for a small animation and having a little creature wandering around the moon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd obviously like to say a massive thank you to Milliput for sponsoring this channel. Hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you want to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.